what if Thunderbolt Ross kidnapped his family and forced Clint Barton to go back to be an assassin for him?
We know, like, MCU doesn't keep every character true to the comic, so it's like they're willing to change things up. Good job, Tommy.
Thanks,
Tommy,
guys.
you crushed it.
Thanks, everyone.
We love
you
Tommy.
did do better
Did
than
you
the
hear
two
that,
of us.
Dad?
I hear you.
Are you? Oh.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Filup Molina. Guys, this is Rogue Theory. Today, we're talking about the new Black Widow trailer. We've all been goofing behind the scenes about what really happened in the scenes of Black Widow.
My God.
But really also, who might really be wearing that skull mask?
Yes.
And that's what we're really going to get into with our guests, Erik Voss.
Hey.
Just point.
Bam, bam,
Finger
bam.
Are you just ready to go with these? Erik Voss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Erik Voss. Okay. They get more experimental as we go. Tommy Bechtold.
Yay! Oh, no. You guys broke him.
And Marina Mastros, of course.
Yay.
Yeah. Tommy, you can speak this episode.
Oh,
That'd be great.
okay, good. Hi.
Great.
Happy to be here, not here by force.
On this episode, we're also going to talk about the Mandalorian and
Yep.
also what's going on behind that mask or helmet.
Yep.
A lot.
Yeah, how many things is he hiding back there? But first, big deal trailer for Black Widow.
Yep.
I loved it immediately.
Yeah.
I
Very
love
cool.
David Harbour. I think that is so funny. I think they're gonna go for like an Incredibles vibe, like
cute.
with the like dad
yeah.
hero.
Daddy Incredible.
Yeah, I also
Yeah.
love that like Super Soldier Serum is way better in the U.S. I guess than the Russian knockoff.
Yeah.
Like doesn't prevent you from aging or gaining weight. But that is our first glimpse at Red Guardian now, but also of Yelena Belova, and then the Taskmaster shot that we theorized was going to be the villain of this movie, but we still don't actually know anything about how they're interpreting Taskmaster in Black Widow. Really cool character in Marvel in general. You can just simply think of him as a copycat, basically. But in this movie, who's he going to be? How are they going to use him? Let's hear theories.
Well, you keep saying he.
Thank you for doing it away from the table. We apologize to the PA who has to lay on the ground in front of the
Yeah,
table.
catch all these.
Oh,
To
Spongy,
catch all
he
the
loves
drops.
it.
Yeah, I know. This guy's got dry skin.
He has to put each drop back in your cup. Yeah, you keep saying he, but I actually think it's Melina. And this is why. So the KGB often, like, once you become not useless or you age out or like you break a leg or whatever, like basically if you're not super useful anymore, then they go boink and they kick you out. Right?
Yeah, the KGB goes off of horse racing rules where if you they shoot
yeah.
you if you break your leg.
Yeah, by kick you out,
you
mean
need to have a
like
triple crown
bullet
or
to the
They
brain.
kick you out of
they turn
living.
you into glue.
Yeah,
Yeah, they kick you out of living. They turn you into glue. And so she ages out basically of the KGB, and she becomes really resentful. So, but she also has these same abilities, right? So she is the one behind the mask, and she's going around. Now she's free. She can do whatever she wants, and whatever she wants, and she's taking it out on the people who, you know, betrayed her essentially, because she has given her whole life to this cause, and then all of a sudden, because she like turns 40 and has a few wrinkles,
Sure.
right?
Is that really why they got rid of her?
No, but
I figured probably
This
not.
horse
that.
is wrinkled.
It has too much wind
We must
resistance
leave
now.
Windows speak on
Wrinkly
horse
horse.
name.
Yeah.
but I think it's like, you
Botox
know,
up that horse. And it's
yeah,
fast as
really.
hell.
It's like you know, in Lord of the Rings when it's like no man alive and everybody thinks like, oh, it's a man, it's a man, it's a man, and we know like MCU doesn't keep every character true to the comic, so it's like they're willing to change things up.
Oh no, I love it being women. It also is the story you're describing is the one trope from recent spy movies that I actually am totally down with, where it's all like the old spy comes back to get vengeance against the entire spy organization.
Yeah,
but
100%.
sometimes it's our good guy. It's our Ethan. In Mission Impossible or something, and then sometimes it's someone who we've never heard of this person in the past. But in both of the scenarios, what's always really good about it and matches up with Taskmaster powers is this is the ultimate threat because they're exactly as capable as you are.
And she knows everything from the inside out.
That's right. Yeah, and it's like that whole thing when the Soviet Union started to collapse, there was the fear that there would be a lot of rogue agents who have like access to nuclear arms or have like insider information who are like, well, I hate seeing my empire collapse. So they start to act out in rogue ways. That's honestly how Putin rose. He was a KGB operative.
And Alf.
Are you talking about Alf, the puppet alien?
Well,
The
for
rogue
puppet
agent.
for Putin, or well, not Putin, I guess at the time. Anyway,
I'm so lost.
Rogue Elf. Go
Oh
ahead.
man.
I'm tired of seeing the motherland collapse.
How do you don't really remember Alf, but you can do a spot on
I just don't know what Alf's connection is to Soviet Russia.
He gained prominence in the 80s and people question his loyalties.
Well, he shouldn't have worn that trench coat too often.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
he ate cats
Yeah,
and
he
people
loved
knew there
cats.
was
The only
Feasted
people who
on
wear
cats.
trench coats are flashers. And people were trying to copy the shooting
And 3
sequence of the
cats in a
Matrix.
coat
like,
trying to buy a
yes.
barrel.
Yes.
We can't reference that.
And Inspector Gadget, but God knows he was a pervert, right?
Oh hell yeah!
All those
Gadget
tricks
Dick.
up his sleeve. You don't think he used those for pleasure once in a while?
What do you mean once in a while?
Yeah.
That's all you
Those
do.
are all
yeah.
toys. They're all just sex toys.
Okay. Why do you think he never really caught Claw? You know, he just liked to be tickled by him a little bit.
because he wanted that claw. It
He likes-
felt so
yeah,
good.
he likes to
Yeah.
give claw a lot more.
That's right.
All right, Eric.
Well, it's nice that he likes to give claw rather than just receive. That would be so selfish.
That's right.
Yeah, always
that's right.
give. It's the season of Christmas.
Yeah.
Put your claw on my neck, Daddy Gadget, and force me to say I've been bad. I'm sorry, I did my wish early.
Eric, do you have a theory? We are suddenly cutting to you. now.
Okay, I'm gonna go for a pretty rogue theory, and I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this in the comments. I don't know if I totally buy this, but I kind of like at least entertaining the notion. There's a shot of Taskmaster in the trailer wielding a bow and arrow,
Yeah.
and you could argue, oh, maybe he just learned that skill from
That's-
Clint Barton in the
yeah.
past. What if it is Clint Barton?
Ooh, love that.
Okay.
So just go with me on this. Maybe this is after Civil War, right? And Clint Barton was part of. Ooh, I'm already getting a rogue.
You had a rogie, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I got one too, Eric. Don't.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we're both
Stole
ahead
it
of
when I
Tommy,
was
so that's all that
unlooking.
matters. So all of Team Cap has gone fugitive, right?
Mm-hmm.
But some of them have just gotten arrested and are now on house arrest. Scott Lang and Clint Barton. Now we didn't see really what happened with Clint in the years in between. He just had an ankle bracelet living on his farm. What if Thunderbolt Ross kidnapped his family and forced Clint Barton to go back to be an assassin for him? And that's what Taskmaster is. He's like, well, I don't want to use my face for this. He's like, all right, cover yourself up, kid.
Yeah.
But I'm going to use you unless unless you want to see your family die.
Yeah.
You got to take out a couple targets for me in Budapest. And that's what the big reveal is going to be, because it's got to be someone. It's not just going to be like a Tony Masters nobody. It's going to be you put someone in a mask so that
important
when you reveal them,
character,
it's a heartbreaking thing. Now the clue I'm using for this, it's a little loose, but in Avengers Endgame on Vormir, when Natasha and Clint are fighting over who gets to sacrifice themselves, it's weird how mirroring Clint is with her
Yeah.
movements. They're doing this weird tango. It's like he can read her moves before she makes them. He's got some taskmastery at work there. So what if that was meant as a clue, setting up the fact that Taskmaster, who does have a history in Budapest, we know Clint Barton is going to be revealed in this movie
He's
somehow.
amazing with weapons too.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Taskmaster.
So I think that could be a reveal, and that's what sent him on this place of like, maybe he gets his family back at the beginning of Infinity or during Infinity War. His family dusts away, and that plus all the crimes he's committed in
Yeah.
Budapest sends him in this dark Ronin
Yeah,
path
he's like,
that we
I
see him
just
in
got
Endgame.
them back.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one reason that I'm feeling this is your early argument of Marvel doesn't like to reveal, behind the mask is someone we've never seen before.
Right. Yeah.
And so when they introduce that mystery, it reminds me of the Frank Grillo character the Brock Rumlow character, but played by Frank Grillo, coming back as Crossbones. We knew he would. It was the big theory, but they don't ever want to waste anything.
Right.
So
Yeah.
why waste this opportunity?
Yeah.
Or it could be his daughter.
Right. I think it's more likely that there's some other work at play, whether it's someone from the Red Room,
Yeah.
as Marina suggested, or maybe just like the true Tony Masters origin. But if you really want to have an interesting twist and give Clint Barton something really fun to do in this movie, that could be
Yeah,
a really cool
that's
reveal.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just him again, like almost like a rematch, even though it's taking place at a different time. That's pretty cool. I like
Yeah.
that. A second rogie to you,
Oh,
sir.
a second
Yeah.
rogie.
God, I hate that. All right, Tommy, top them all.
Okay, good. I'm glad that that's all I have to do. Mine pulls off of, mine borrows a little bit from Erik. So my theory is that the Taskmaster, I actually don't think that's going to ultimately be the big bad guy in this movie. I think it's kind of a puppet bad guy, or even a misdirection. It's a little
Alpha
orange puppet bad guy with a taste for cats and an affinity for trench coats and fedoras. No, I think
Pervert.
I think it's going to be a Taskmaster is going to be someone hired by Thunderbolt Ross, a similar to Eric. I don't think it's going to be a Hawkeye like character. I think it's going to either be an existing villain from a Marvel movie that we've had that is somewhat redeemable, or it's going to be a character introduced in this movie that has a bone to pick with specifically Natasha Romanoff, and then Thunderbolt Ross is going to hire this person or coerce them into going after her as a kind of backdoor introduction to the Thunderbolts in this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah. And then I think in the end that Thunderbolt Ross is going to have to work with Natasha Romanoff and probably whoever this Taskmaster character is to take out an even higher evil that's going to emerge throughout the movie. Like whoever's doing the puppet mastering, not the taskmastering.
I mean, you got to throw out a guess as to who that really is.
I hate to say Willy Wonka because I don't know if he's canon, but I'm thinking possibly a Dr. Doom. Maybe, maybe like a big bad. I think it's going to be another big bad guy glimpse into like someone that could be in the kind of main through line of what is it, Phase 4 now that we're in. I think it could be the introduction of the big bad guy that's going to carry us through the next 10 years.
Tommy, you get one roguie to start because I'm super into the idea that Taskmaster is not a red herring, but kind of not going to be as important as it seems. That also has the Crossbones vibe to it too, where he wasn't really. It was Robert Redford. Was I think the actual villain there. But then I'm going to give you another little baby quarter roguie because I really like this idea, even though it was clearly off the cuff, of Dr. Doom. Because something that none of us do, even though we theorize like crazy every week, is talk a lot about, instead of how do we get to Fantastic Four or X-Men or anything, we go so direct those ways, we could backdoor that whole introduction through their villains instead, which would make a lot of sense. Someone like Dr. Doom, who is a political presence and has a lot of money, like has a lot of influence in the world, is a lot easier to bring in than a superhero team that we haven't known about for some reason.
Yeah. And it's something that we want more. I think we're all eager to have a good Dr. Doom than we are for a good Thunderbolts, personally.
Yeah.
Good job, Tommy.
Thanks,
Tommy,
guys.
you crushed it.
Thanks, everyone.
We love Tommy.
Tommy, do better than
you hear
the two of
that,
us.
Dad?
I hear you.
Are you? Oh.
All right, guys. That's so. Let us know in the comments which of these you're most in line with of what is actually going to be the story of Taskmaster. Marina, give it to us in a tweet.
Taskmaster. Think again. It's a she. Melina.
Yes.
Right? Hashtag. There's the same word. There's the same word. Guys.
Did your tweet get drunk?
Yes, she did. My tweet is also female, and it's hashtag she Melina. Hashtag. Yeah. Guys. That's what I did it.
This is the beginning of the episode, Marie.
It's always the tweet version that makes me fall apart.
I think you did great.
Thank
and
you.
You do great on Twitter. Follow her on Twitter. Eric, what's yours?
Clinton Barton, if you want to see your kids again, pack up for Budapest because we got some tasks that need mastering.
Ooh.
Sexy as hell, for sure. Yeah.
Hashtag what?
Pack up your kids. Is that
Pack
what
up your kids.
Pack up your kids because they need a task to master.
Yeah. I go in the duffel.
Yeah.
And then Tommy, what's yours?
Oh, I don't know. Off the top of my head, I would say Boss Ross employs Taskmaster to bask in the glory of Black Widow's story.
Ooh.
Yay.
Wow.
Did bask, was that an internal rhyme with task?
Yes, it was.
Nice.
The contrast between Tommy and mine is just worlds away.
Well, he's the ass master. he's going to have these always. He writes for hours before these episodes.
Yeah. No, I wrote this yesterday without knowing what we were talking about.
Oh, great.
And then angled the whole thing into it.
I did. I coerced you all.
That's impressive.
Guys,
that is impressive.
Thanks so much for people helping us put on this ridiculous show.
Hey guys, Eric here. Just another reminder, if you want early access to all of our Star Wars content, of which we are doing so much, breakdowns of episodes of The Mandalorian on Disney+, an in-depth rewatch series of the classic Star Wars films, original trilogy and prequels, and of course, all the news you need to know about The Rise of Skywalker, you're really going to want to subscribe to our podcast feed, Wookiee Leaks. I know, we're kind of proud of the name. That way you'll be the first to be alerted when new Star Wars information comes out from us, and you'll be able to consume this content while you're doing other stuff, like driving, working out, cooking, or realistically, I know what you're doing with your time, practicing your lightsaber skills. Again, subscribe to Wookiee Leaks wherever you get your podcasts.
Guys, we are watching and loving The Mandalorian.
Yes.
It is so good, and it had no need to be. We would have got Disney Plus anyway, and then it ended up being really good. They've done a great job of fleshing out Mandalorian culture in general, which is one of the most fascinating kind of races or types of people in the Star Wars universe. Honestly, because there's so many unanswered questions about them. I mean, even Boba Fett himself, right, is just a character from a Christmas special. People are like, that's the most interesting thing I've ever seen. Put him in everything. I make 1,000 toys.
And he's not even a Mandalorian. He was just like, he was a clone of someone who wore the armor.
Right. So they wouldn't be making such a big deal about what's going on with the Mandalorian's helmet, I think, unless there is building up to some sort of reveal, either about this character specifically or about all of these people, or maybe not people. But that's for you guys to pitch to me, actually. What are your rogue theories about what's really going on behind that helmet?
Okay, well, the most recent episode, spoiler warning for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, but it's so easy to find. You can
$7.99
they kind of
Disney
talk
Plus.
about that he does take off the helmet sometimes. He doesn't leave it on and then smush his food into it. It's just he doesn't take it off in front of other people. Yeah, there's a food processor in the mouthpiece. He does take it off, and we actually see him take it off as he's watching kids play 8 feet away. It could easily turn and be like, oh, that's what you look like.
I know.
But so that's why I think you're onto something. It is going to be like a reveal. And I think I was wondering, like, they cast Pedro Pascal in this. He's a smoke show, but like,
Yes, he is.
what if the reason why?
Sorry, I'm not familiar with that term. A
Smoke
hottie?
show?
Look in the
Hottie with
mirror.
body.
His skin reacts to sunlight with a smoke effect.
Yes.
And then he does a little show.
Gotcha.
And then a model walks through it and makes blue steel.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And then his head gets smushed. I think like the reason he was cast in this was because I think of Game of Thrones, and he was cast because he's a handsome man who gets his face like mutilated. What if he's just like a big uggo when he takes off his helmet? And he's like, they cast Pedro Pascal to do the voice, but what if it's just like Bruce Valanche under that helmet?
Like old. Well, one, hold on. Bruce Valanche should not need that. Okay. he sounds like a human. Bruce Valanche, I know you're watching. I'm so sorry. But also, you did Eric dirty once too. So
He did. Let me write for the Oscars once. He okay, but not Bruce Valanche. But what if he's just like not human? What if he has like he's a different race? And I was thinking like, what would be the coolest kind of reveal? That's not like, oh, he's been scarred and he's self-conscious about his scar. I don't think that would be the case. But what if like he doesn't want an association, like there's some kind of shame to it? We see that kid in the flashback scenes, and you're thinking that's Mandalorian. What if that's not the adult Mando? What if Mando is the other kid who saves that kid? And that kid is the same race as Maul. He is a Zabrak. And he has like red skin or with horns, and he's just kind of weird looking. And because of the association with Maul, or maybe because he's trying to flee Maul, who is active and alive, at least from an earlier time period, he's a foundling, and he adopts the Mandalorian culture. And when he takes off that helmet, the reason he's going to take it off at the end of the series is to scare Baby Yoda away from him. He's going to be like, all right, fine, this is the face of a demon. And it's going to be like that scene like in Air Bud where he's like, get out of here. Come on. Don't you see an oi anymore? To save Baby Yoda, to get him to run away, he's going to scare him with his Zabrak face. Baby Yoda's going to be crying. And it does happen. He gets the
Tommy collected
yogurt
Eric's
pudding
rogies
That's
because
too sad.
Eric made Baby Yoda cry.
I think we're going to have to make Baby
He's gonna
Yoda
make me
cry.
No.
I don't want it to
Your
happen.
rogies are in probation. You can get them back.
By doing what? I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Just walk over to the other side of the table and grab them. But I know that's a lot of work, so
Yeah.
never mind.
I
Not
want them to
anything.
stay together forever. No.
Okay, I'm feeling parts of that. That essentially he's just an alien, and there's a misdirect of all his memories.
But you know, in this world, humans are aliens. It's everyone's an alien.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone is. Anyway, so
You little heartbreaker.
okay, so I'm okay with this. I'm gonna give you just a little rogie for right now, but I'll put it on your probationary stack over here.
Oh, when I'm back.
I think it's pretty obvious that the Mandalorian is two Jawas standing on each other's shoulders. Or a tiny little alien flying around in a giant Mandalorian suit.
Yeah.
But
Like lifting the arms, then rushing the other arm and lifting that arm.
That's right, just buzzing around.
Like one leg at a
Sonic the
time.
Hedgehog just zipping around inside there. No, I think this is
Cute.
how I think it goes down. Okay, we've established this parental kind of father-son bond right now between Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Like he's kind of like sort of parenting him a little bit. I think that's only going to grow over the next couple of episodes. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to come down to a scenario where the Mandalorian is in peril, and normally he would choose to die honorably in battle. But if he does that, he knows he'll be also dooming Baby Yoda. So he's going to have to remove his helmet for him to live so that he can save Baby Yoda. Yeah. And maybe once we do that reveal, I think, honestly, just bottom line financially, it's good. And you know me, I'm bottom line Bechtold. It's classic. Go back and watch New Rockstars from 15 years ago.
Episode.
I've been saying it.
Those episodes have been scrubbed.
Okay, those have been off the internet for a while now. They're in the FBI's hands, and justice will be brought. No, but I think like it's gonna be a glowing golden hour shot of Pedro Pascal's face, and it's just like, of course.
But it's not glowing, just for clarity, right?
No, he's glowing.
Oh, okay.
He glows in the dark, and then it's full Valanche from there.
Yeah.
He gives him a full Valanche. No, I think it'll be. I think it'll be like the thing of like it's gonna come off in like he's gonna have to decide like to save Baby Yoda, so he has to take it off so that he can live.
Yeah.
And he will be Pedro Pascal.
And he'll be an alien life form, also known as Alf.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's my theory.
No, he'll be Elf, the character from the Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah.
Hi, Mando, what's
Also
your favorite
eats
color?
cats.
Yes.
Do you either of you have versions where it's like injured or scarred face, or is it just kind of like he looks like a handsome Pedro
If they
Pascal
do
or
a
handsome
scar,
alien?
it'll be a sexy scar. You know,
Yeah,
it'll be like
it'll
a Harrison
compliment.
Ford
Harrison
chin
Ford,
scar
yeah,
or something.
yeah.
That,
I
like,
want one that splits the nose down the middle and opens.
I think it's just gonna spell hot across his head.
HAWT.
A lightning
Yeah.
bolt on the forehead.
HAWT, yeah.
Okay, so you just think basically that we're getting Pedro Pascal back there, and he has to dishonorably take off his.
Well, I think it'll be a new form of honor. He'll be dishonoring his old ways and kind of honoring his new ways as this
fatherhood.
You know, like when you're a parent, as I know, I have 15 kids. Your life becomes about keeping them alive, not so much about keeping yourself alive. So I think this selfless act will be a representation of him leaving his kind of war-motivated ways, battle, weapon-centric ways of Mandalorianism, and moving on to something different.
One time
Something
when I
new.
was very young, I set a fire in the kitchen, and my dad had to run out of the bathroom to put it out, completely pantsless.
Yeah.
And it was a new kind of honor
Yeah.
to our household that he brought, where I had to see that.
Yeah.
But it was for the greater good.
It's the same thing.
I love Philip's stories so much.
It's
You set fire to your kitchen? Oh my god.
I set fire to my snowman, who was made of paper that everyone ignored until I burned it.
Well, he had it coming.
Yeah, exactly.
If he was a little cuter, they wouldn't have ignored him, and
Happy
you wouldn't have had
holidays,
to burn him.
everybody. That's a true story. My snowman, I miss him.
Tonight's sponsor is Snowmen.
Yeah.
Snowmen attorneys.
Yeah.
Have you burned your snowman down?
It's a line from Lord of the Rings.
Oh my
no
God.
snowmen can
Yeah.
I am Snowman.
reveals
Olaf.
she's a snowman.
With a hat underneath
Like,
the helmet, there's a little black top
the
hat.
carrot is stored inside of him.
Or no, he just pops it out through the back of his
Yeah.
head.
Go see Frozen 2, everybody.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
This
Marina,
movie's third act sucks.
Connect this
I haven't
back.
seen it yet. Don't say anything.
Connect this back. What's going to
yes.
happen behind this mask?
Okay. It is Pedro Pascal. We do see his face, but mine is that he's a single dad who gets to have it all. So he is
Until.
no, he gets to have it all. This is the
Hallmark movie.
This is the Hallmark movie we want, and it has to do with his religion. So, because we all know, in the prequels, Jango Fett just walks around without his helmet on completely. They never wear helmets before the rise of the Empire. So, my theory is that the Mandalorian religion changes after the rise of the Empire, and that's why they go underground. You can only have one of them come up at a time. They have to never remove their helmets because they're in hiding all the time. And their religion is now, but in addition to being this war, culture, and like you're a fighter and that's the only thing you do, now you also have to hide. You also can't take your helmet off. Like, that's part of the religion. And this guy is like, you know what? No. Because if I live as a warrior, I can never have a kid. Okay, I can never have my career and be a parent at the same time, and I'm going to change that. And we've already seen him inspire different actions from the rest of the Mandalorians when they come up, a bunch of them at a time, to save his ass, to help to get Baby Yoda on the plane and to get away. So they've already broken the code for him once. right? So I think at the end of this show, he does take off his helmet, but it's not. He doesn't not have to be a Mandalorian anymore. He's basically making a religious statement and saying, look, I'm still a Mandalorian and everybody else can still be a Mandalorian with me, but I get to raise this kid at the same time. You can do both. And he's basically like the Pope of the Mandalorians, and they all start following him, and the religion like changes because he makes a statement about it, and he gets to have it all.
He's like a
Takes off
Christ
his
figure.
helmet and replaces a Pope hat.
Yep, a pointy Pope hat. Yep.
Yeah. Did you have a part in there where he takes off his helmet?
He takes off the helmet at the end and he just like goes into the sunset with his kid, and the rest of the Mandalorians also take off their helmets, and they
Ooh.
all do it at the same. Like they see him do it, and then they're like, you know what? Yes, and so they all do it too.
That's how Pope Francis became the Pope. He took off his hat and it became Bruce Valanche. They're like, okay, him. He gets to be Pope.
Somewhere
White
our
smoke.
Google alert on Bruce Valanche's phone is just going to
It's
be
like blowing
buzzing.
up.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
back, baby.
And then he chews his phone into and swallows it like the monster he
Like
is.
The prophecy has been fulfilled.
Here's something interesting about that. Oh, Tommy? Did I give you any roguies on yours? No, I'm sorry. I actually really liked yours.
Yeah.
Here you go. That's a full blown roguie.
There you go.
Cash that on your way out. Marina.
Rogue man.
Oh, beautiful.
Do you want to build a rogue man?
Great job, Tommy. You're doing great.
Thank you.
His parents were just divorced and were trying to help him work
Just
through
yesterday.
it. Yeah.
They separated 23 years ago,
Yeah,
but they
the
just
paperwork
finalized
is,
it.
the ink is dry.
Staying together for the kids, you know.
Marina, something I like about yours though is tying. I mean, it does make sense that hiding his identity and covering himself up is tied to religion. We have those religions on Earth that do have a lot to do with what you allow people to see of you.
Totally.
They tend to be gendered, but in this situation, it maybe
Yeah, it's
is
just all of
unrelated
them.
to
Yeah,
that.
and it's for safety.
Yeah, so I do really like the idea that if he were to eject from this religion or start something else, it would make a lot of sense. Then, like, well, what's the helmet matter then if
Yeah.
it's about his religious beliefs?
And he knows. I think he knows that it didn't used to be that way, and so he's like, you
Back
know
in the
what?
day, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I remember seeing Django. Everybody walking down the street, hey Django, hi Django.
What if
Yeah.
we're focusing on the wrong parts of the name Mandalorian? What if we're focusing too much on the man? Duh. But really, it's all about the Lorianne. Take the mask off, and it's Lorianne Robinson, VP of Accounting at a local Cloud City law firm.
Look,
Huh? Is that the craziest rogue theory of all? Bring him over.
Lorianne,
Back in that truck full of
you can have
roguies.
Eric's quarter.
Great.
Rogie.
Lorianne, are you having some droids do your paperwork for you?
Yeah.
Lorianne.
Lorianne.
She's not in her office. Where could she be? On a epic
Journey.
galactic adventure with
Yeah.
Baby Yoda, maybe?
This dog eats avocado.
Oh, this is just like the doctor is his mother. We're all just assuming the Mandalorian is some strapping man.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
and
right.
The doctor is his mother is the story of how you were born.
Yes.
Which-
My mother was actually the doctor. I was born in a Cabbage Patch. But
you are the original Cabbage Patch Kid that
saved
they were
me.
based on.
All right, what do I get? Do I get points?
Yeah. We were supposed to keep this episode nice and tight. Marina, you get a
Yay.
roguie for reminding me.
D-
And then
my
Eric, you get your
probation
2 roguies
Yay.
back. And then Tommy learned to share because he's accessing his feelings and sharing them. And he gave Eric back his quarter roguie.
Great.
That's very sweet. Give him back to me in a tweet.
Motherfucker. All right. Mandalorian single dad gets to have it all. Religion and career and a son in the new
She was doing so
I was
well.
so close in the new religion. So tired.
This takes a lot out of her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric, go for it.
Mando takes off his helmet, revealing a scary face to make Baby Yoda cry.
Oh,
At
no.
Bruce Valanche suck.
Hashtag
You added
Bruce.
that.
Yeah.
You're the one mad at him. And then Tommy, what do you got?
Okay, off the top of my head, Mando? Hell no. Lorianne has the master plan.
You abandoned your original
Oh, wait, no.
Another theory.
for the Lorianne theory.
Helmets off. Baby, helmet. Take your helmet off. Baby Yoda feels grateful. Hang on, I can get here.
See, this is not that easy.
Father and son have fun when the helmets become ajar. They can go far as a family.
Yes.
I like that you use the word ajar because the helmet opens.
Yes.
That's beautiful. Tommy.
That's where they get the word.
Yeah, helmet.
This is the hardest part of this show, honestly.
Guys, the hardest part is deciding where to put your current point totals at. Oh, you know what? It's a 3-way tie.
Oh!
Because Marina put a lot of extra effort
really
into that
did.
nosebleed that she got from that tweet.
God,
But your 3-way tie will be settled by rogue questions.
Okay, all right.
Is this a billion rogue questions? No, these are wishes too. Okay, great.
Some of them
All
are
right.
wishes.
Questions that none of us have seen before, but we're gonna answer quickly. Ready,
Yes.
set.
Yes.
David Harbour posted the Black Widow trailer on Instagram with the caption "Marxist Santa Claus is coming to kick your ass," which is perfect. What would Marxist Santa Claus leave in your stocking?
A step ladder so everyone can be the same height, be equal across the world.
Wouldn't you would just be consistently taller than
Oh,
everybody.
yeah, okay, you asked for a quick answer. That's what I gave.
She jumped on it. It's fine.
Probably just coal, but coal would be a good thing
Yeah,
because it was
yeah.
the fruits of the labor of some hardworking proletariat.
That's great.
Yay, cool.
Go,
I think it would just be a glossary of buzzwords about Marxism so I could feel like I could contribute to this conversation rather than just racking my brain for like 10th grade economics class and
Yeah.
trying to sound smart.
Wow. I'm sorry we put you in this situation.
It's okay. It's fine. Also Q-tips because my ears get really dirty.
This
nice.
is just for you now.
It's
This
a
is just
nice
for you.
neutral
Great.
gift.
Those are great. Disney has made Baby Yoda dolls available for purchase, but you don't get them till April.
That's dumb.
You can buy them right now. You don't get them till April. How will you pass the time until your Baby Yoda doll arrives?
Yeah, I'm gonna get pregnant and have a kid, and then
Whoa, big news.
Yeah.
Tommy, congrats.
And then when it doesn't turn out to be Baby Yoda, then I discard them. I reveal myself to be
What?
Darth Maul, scare the kid away, like you said, and then get my Baby Yoda in the mail.
Wow.
Wow. I mean, it would eat up that time.
It would eat up that time. You asked how I
Yeah.
was going to use the time.
That's a solid
how.
4 months of activity.
Yeah.
I think full-term pregnancy,
Yeah.
discarding of kid.
Yeah.
Well,
Darth
no, the
Maul,
kid gets
heel
scared
turn?
away,
Yeah.
but he's an infant that can't walk. So it's
Then the
very
kid comes
fascinating.
back to, later murder me as an adult is for revenge. So
Maybe
it's
a
a full
mercenary
circle.
finds that kid and raises it.
Oh, yeah. Great. I
Maybe
live
I'm
the
that
storyline.
The Cabbage Patch story of how Tommy came to be.
Saved by a female doctor? Okay, so how I would spend my 4 months would be wondering if it's a real thing or an April Fool's joke, because nothing like feeling like an April Fool in December ordering a Christmas present only to find April 1st. There is no Baby Yoda. You imagined him. None of these people are real. You created your friends, Erik, Marina, and Filup.
What's wrong with
and
creating
this has
your
all
friends?
just been a dream
Oh, my
inside the
God.
head of Bruce the Lamb.
The garbled, oversized
Yeah.
head of.
Depends on the dream.
Tommy, both of these answers have me worried about how you see yourself and how you feel about yourself at the moment.
Oh, no. I feel very, very good about myself. I'm fine.
This is Alf in a trench coat.
I'm fine.
You're digging your nails into your legs, and I love it. Guys, Laura Dern. Oh, wait, sorry, Erik. Erik, what's your
Oh,
answer?
you know me. I'm just going to put myself in dangerous, life-threatening situations in front of babies until one of them uses the force to save me, and then we form a partnership.
Oh, cute.
Weird.
Yours is less effort than mine.
Great. Okay. Laura Dern joked in an interview that she saw Baby Yoda at an NBA game. Oh, God, Laura Dern with the classics. What would Baby Yoda be doing at a baseball game?
He'd have a big old cup of soda, but there's no lid on it, and he'd be holding it like a big cup of tea,
Oh.
being all cute.
I mean, I think we got to check in on Laura Dern. Like, Laura Dern, do you see Baby Yoda right now?
Yeah.
Well, I took
You
a bunch
okay?
of mushrooms.
Yeah,
went to an
yeah,
NBA game. I think it's pretty obvious. Baby Yoda is 50 years old, so he's horny and he's getting on the kiss cam. Okay, he's been around for 50 years. He's looking for some
wouldn't?
smooches.
Who
He
wouldn't?
wants some smooches on the kiss cam. I'm not-
Everybody would be
You're not
that.
going to get on
he's-
a kiss cam if you're sitting by yourself.
Yeah, he is. He's gonna do
Dude,
this.
people would line up if there was Baby Yoda. Oh, man. People would line up. I'd be in line.
Keep doing that real quick?
Huh?
Let's go ahead and kiss Cam Tommy, editors,
Oh,
please.
you guys, kiss cam.
Thank you, Marina, for bailing on that immediately. Be like, you and Erik, for sure.
Yeah,
Please don't
yeah.
touch me with your gross face.
Both of you.
I think Baby Yoda would be at the NBA game scouting. You know, he's wise. He's patient.
Oh,
You know, he's looking for people that he could use for his new franchise.
nice.
Great.
You
I love all of these answers, and I'm gonna, but I'm mostly gonna acknowledge that
Mine's the
Tommy,
cutest.
you worked the hardest this episode to share what you were thinking about, and your self-esteem is improving. It sounds like, and for that you get the one Rogie that I award for this round of Rogue questions, and Tommy is our winner of this episode
Nice
of
work,
Rogue Theory.
buddy.
So Tommy's wish comes true. I wish for 1,000 more wishes, or one hug from my dad.
Both are priceless, and only one has no chance of happening.
They're both fictional, yeah.
We'll get you those 1,000 wishes.
Yeah, you
Great.
get 1,000 wishes.
Let's get a hug from. Well, Eric, you do a spot on Mr. Bechtold.
Tom,
Yes, Papa?
what did I tell you about knocking?
Never knock unless you're sure that you don't have a gun pointed at you on the other side of the door.
That's right. No, why don't you close that door behind you? Give Papa a hug.
Okay.
Origin story.
Da, 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 da.
Yay! Oh,
Best
there
friends,
we go.
Best friends.
Wait a
they're
second.
Dad and son.
Alf?
Ooh, it's cold up here in northern New York.
Dog eats
Northern New York.
avocados.
All right, great work,
Upstate.
Tommy. That's all we need to take this pervert down. Get out of here.
Shit! I can't go back to my home planet. There, cats eat you.
It's Russia, guys. That's it for this episode of Rogue Theory. Thanks for going rogue with us.
my God.
Thanks to our guest Tommy Bechtold,
Yay.
Marina Mastros, and Erik Voss.
Yay.
Doesn't matter what we're working on this week.
Hey, it was fun to talk about Mandalorian with Marina because she's going to be stepping in to do the Mandalorian breakdown of episode 5 this weekend.
Eric lost a bet, so now I get to do it.
Yay!
And we're going to be launching a new show format that Filup and I have been working really hard on. A lot of people here have been working really hard on Friday, so keep an eye out for it.
Cool.
Yeah, great. All right, we'll see you in those videos. Bye-bye.
Bye.